Hi, I'm Paul Hughes-Barlow and this is my tarot course. Today I'm going to look at the difference between sequential spreads and positional spreads. Positional spreads are ones like the Celtic cross, where you have one card on one position, and sequential tarot readings like the opening of the key use cards in a sequence. And I'm going to show you actually, with using the opening of the key spread, you can even start reading the cards using the backs of the cards. How can you do that? I'll show you. First of all, I'll demonstrate how a traditional positional spread will work. So what happens is the client shuffles the cards like this. She puts them down. She probably cuts them in half. The tarot reader picks them up and deals the cards out like this. Okay? There we go. And then, very often they'll start turning the cards over. This one here, position on the moon card, and then we have the High Priestess, the recent past, distance past, future, distant, far future, work, love, friendship, future. Something like this. This is basically how you do it. One card and one position. And you look at all the relationships of the cards between these positions. It's considered a beginner spread, but personally I find it very difficult to read, and I don't recommend it. Now, I'm going to show you how I would read these cards and show you how to deal out the cards, and how I can use the opening the key spread to give information just by looking at the backs of the cards, not the front. So, this is how it works. So your client shuffles the cards and puts them down. They may just actually cut them, which is what a lot of people do. So just put them back together again how they are, that's fine. And you ask it, and so this is all from the way I would read the cards. So you have to imagine a person sitting in front of me. I put the cards to my right hand side, and I'd ask the person to cut the cards in half. Okay? They do that. And then I say, cut this pile in half again. They do that. And I say, in this pile in half to there. Okay? Now I don't know whether you can see this, but this pile here is much thicker than, say, this pile. Alright? And all these other piles are differing heights as well. Now, there's a lot of cards here, not so many cards here or here. Okay? So, more is happening in this pile, because this is where the focus would be, than on the other areas. And this pile here actually happens to be the area to do with the future. So here we have someone's not much going on in their lives, looking to what's going to happen to them. Now in the Golden Dawn system, the instructions say cut the cards in half precisely. Now of course there's 78 cards, and you can't divide 78 into 4. There's always going to be one card over, because half of 78 is 39, and 39 you can't divide in half. So the piles are always going to be slightly different anyway, but you can more or less get them into line. So these are the 4 areas of the person's life. Starting on here, this is the past, the influences. This is lots to do with fire. This pile here is desires and love. Okay. This pile here is worries and problems, and this pile here are the future cards. So, there's also an elemental association to each of these 4 piles. The past cards is fire, the desires are water, the worries pile and problems is air, and the future cards are the earth cards. Okay, they kind of fit in more or less with the elements and how they work. Now, if say these cards were like this, I cut them. The biggest pile is here now. So we can very simply say this person lives in the past. Okay? A lot of things that happen there, they haven't dealt with them. They're a little bit not quite sure how they want to deal with their life and what to do next. We can do it another way. There we go. This is the desires pile, the love area. It's about passion, attraction, all those things that people really want to know about. It's the biggest pile. So we can say lots of desires and aspirations. But do you think that person will actually achieve them? Maybe not, because the outcome pile is fairly small. So there's more desires than there are possible outcomes here. Do it one more time. Put the cards here. Now the biggest pile is on the worries pile. Okay, the biggest is the worries pile, the air pile. It's the biggest by far. And it just shows this person has lots of worries, lots of problems. And they're probably overwhelmed by them as well. So of course they have to find some ways of getting over this. So it's very simple. This is the past. This is desires. This is the things the person wants to go towards. This is the worries pile. Worries by definition generally don't happen, but we still worry about them anyway, don't we? And here is the future pile, the fire pile. So we haven't even turned the cards over. We have an idea of where this person is going in their life and what's happening to them. Sometimes we find that, let's lift the cards like this. Okay. So now, the past pile is huge, desires is very small, the worries pile is very big, and the outcome is very small. A lot about the past hadn't resolved. Those fears are still manifesting from the past. So we would expect this person to not expect very much. They have desires are very few, and they don't expect things to work out for them very much either. Yes. So there's lots of permutations just by looking at the cards before you even turn them over.